33-year-old girl joined one of the podcasts I listened to recently and she had a concern. So she asked the host what she was doing wrong or am I losing it? And what was her concern? She's concerned that some of her friends, her age mates, are showing off this luxurious life. They are living, they've bought homes, they are driving fancy cars, they are going to different places for vacations, but she just cannot afford it. She doesn't know what they're doing. She's not sure what she is doing wrong. And so she's just wondering if she's losing it. And it's interesting how these guys responded to her. And I thought of sharing that with the people who listen to me. What they said was, growing up as millennials, right? Those of us who are millennials, we heard a lot of this, hey, do not keep up with the Joneses, right? That was one of the problems that came up within that generation, the millennials. And because people tend to like look around and say, oh, those ones they're living a good life. Oh, those ones, they have that. But the difference between that, like keeping up with the Joneses, and today is the fact that you knew the Joneses. You could see them. The Joneses were your neighbors. They lived in the same neighborhood as you. You could see their challenges. You could see their problems. Yes, they could come out pulling all those beautiful cars, but you also knew that they had problems back at home. You also knew that, hey, as they're getting back home, he's going to be throwing off stuff up and down. There were fights. So you could see that beautiful part of the life that maybe you're fancying, but you also knew that they had problems at home. They had other things that they were dealing with. And with this, it did not really move a lot of people a lot. They'll be like, hey, yeah, they have that, but they don't have peace at home. Again, I'm not saying that it is always the case, but at least we could see people in the physical. You could see those beautiful things that they had, and at the same time, you could see that they had problems, which is the balance of life, right? But today, the difference is with social media, people only put out what they want you to see. People put out their best moments most of the time. How many people come on social media, or how many, again, let me take it in this girl's example, a girl at 33. Maybe she has friends who are married. How many of her friends who are married will come up on social media and say, hey, guess what? My husband just bought me, a Honda 1980 or 1992, a Honda, whatever example, like an older version of Honda, right? Or any other car, not picking up Honda, or just any other car, Subaru 1984. You don't hear those things. But when they get these new babies, when they get a new Tesla, they get a new BMW, those are the ones that they come and they post online. So that is what they show you. How many of them, when their husbands go out and buy them maybe just a regular silver ring, they don't show you, but when the ones that are covered in gold, plated gold, that's the ones that they show out. Okay, so that is what social media has done, because it has given people the opportunity to sift what they want to show out there. They've given people the opportunity to take off the ugly part of life and only show the beautiful part of life. And so you and I were only watching their lives on social media. We are only seeing the beautiful part of their lives. So that cannot be our point of measure. You cannot look at somebody's life on social media and feel like you are not doing good and feel like they're better than you. That is not okay. And that is a message I bring to you today. When I listened to that podcast, I got the message and I thought like, hey, so babes, bring this out to your own audience and say it in your own way, say it in your own words, right? Growing up, we all knew, I grew up in a community where there were people who had a better life, they were richer. And also, there were also people who were poorer than I was, right? I grew up in a middle-class family in my community. There were richer people and there were poorer people. There are things about the richer people that I admired, I envied. I was like, oh God, I wish I had that. I hope my daddy drove that bigger car, right? But then I also could see the challenges that lived in those homes. I also could see the pains that they went through. There were things in the poorer families that, in as much as they did not have what I had, I would go back to them because I just liked what they did, or maybe food. There were times that I would leave my home with a variety of meals to go eat in a family that was not even doing as well as my family, right? So again, growing up then, it was a lot easier to deal with these things because we could see the good and the bad side. Social media doesn't always show us this. It does not show us this. When those our friends, our classmates come out here, our age mates, they come out here and they put things, please do not measure your life on what just my life, what you see me doing on social media should not be the measure of your life. You are your own measure. Set your goals, right? We all say, hey, we want to keep doing the things that will help us find our best versions. Your best version does not live in what I show you. I could talk about things that inspire you to use your own brain, to use your own spirit of discernment, and take that information, right? You dissect it and use it in your own circumstance. The things I say it doesn't mean that because so Babes said it or because another person said it. It has to be that way. We have to learn to take information, disseminate this information, and fit that information into our own circumstance in life. The same thing when it comes to material things. Do not be carried away by the things that you see your friends showing on social media. Do not be carried away by those Instagram reels and posts, by those Facebook, all of those things. Those things are just the beautiful parts of their lives that they have decided to show you. Let that not be your measure of success. Keep working on yourself. Find your points of fulfillment. Do the things that make you happy. And as I say it, why do I do these things I do? Because they make me happy. Why do I turn on my camera and I sit here with my freshly made cup of coffee? Oh, and yes, today I also added a scoop of collagen in my coffee. Doing it black today because it's a black coffee day. Right? Why am I spending the time to do this? Because it gives me fulfillment, because I want to be able to talk about the things. I come here and I share my thoughts. My thoughts, my experiences might not necessarily be yours, but you can use an experience and how I handle things and now model it to meet your own personal circumstance. I hope that this makes sense. I hope that this encourages you, who is probably struggling with that peer pressure of like, oops, my friends are here, my friends have done this, I have not done this yet. Remember that you don't know everything about those your friends, and they do not know that within you, you might not be driving that BMW or that Lexus, but you have internal peace. Okay? Stay blessed, my people. So Babes talks, okay? And enjoy my fresh cup of coffee. It's time for me to go to work. Stay blessed, be good to each other, and remember that each day you live on earth can be your last day. Enjoy the moment, feel the moment, and be good, be kind to the people you encounter. I love you all. You're one and only. So Babes, cheers. Back to work.